Today on the Be You Babe podcast, I'm talking with Tammy Mack all about productivity and efficiency from a human design perspective. She is a splenic projector. I am a sacral MG. We approach things very differently, and yet we can still get so much done and create the lives that we want. We're just doing it in different ways. And I'm really excited for you to listen to this episode. She's a sixth line as well as I, so we share tons of sixth line wisdom. We go deep because that's what we do. That's what we do around here. And there's just so many good nuggets in this very long episode. So I hope you have a long car drive, or maybe you're cleaning the house. But this is a really great one to just have playing while you're doing something else, like I do all the time. Wanted to let you guys know I do have a couple spots open for copywriting. If your website is not a good representation of you, whether it was 3 seasons ago or it never was, and you really, really want that home base that you're proud of and can send people to and actually know that they're going to convert to a client, I have 2 spots open for website copywriting and 2 spots open for sales page writing. That's if you have an offer that honestly, it could be a new offer, or it could be something that you've launched before, but it needs a revamp, right? Like, I feel like every time you launch it once, right? And then you learn a bunch of stuff, and then you got to relaunch it again because you know that the results are slightly different than you originally thought. Maybe the ideal client is slightly different, and you really want to make sure that a sales page of yours is totally aligned with you using your human design. 2 spots for that. So beyond that, we are into spring, and holy hell, I am so happy that it's warming up here in the mountains. The snow is mostly going away, and summer is my absolute favorite season here because it's like 75, almost no humidity all summer long, and it is the best. So I'm super excited. And we're planting a garden. I'm so excited to plant veggies again. We haven't had a garden since we moved up here. And growing my own food and teaching the kids how to grow food is like, it just fills my soul. I did that with my parents growing up and having a big garden on the farm. So super excited to do that with the kids again. Other than that, I hope you enjoy this episode, and yeah, see you next week.
All right, so let's talk about efficiency. I was really excited about having this conversation with a manifesting generator because manifesting generators, they are the ones that I know anyway, generally have like 50 tabs open on their computer at
Guilty.
all times. And they
Guilty.
seem to know what each tab means to them. And it's like kind of a sort of efficiency, right? Because they have it in front of them. When I work with manifesting generators or I see manifesting generators, I always think of somebody holding a house of cards and how much energy it takes to hold that house of cards energetically. And so when somebody comes in, good natured or not, opens the door and it's all gone, right? That's where the anger, the dissipation of energy comes from. Projectors are quite different. We manage energy. And so we don't, I personally do not, I wouldn't know what to do with, 50 tabs on my computer. That's just not how I work. I'm very efficient. I'm like, finish the task, finish the task, finish the task type of person, but trust my intuition, trust that I will know what I need to know when I need to know it. I do not have to provide it. It will be, shown to me in a way through who it is that I'm guiding, whether it's a generator, manifesting generator, whoever, right? So I don't need to manage the tabs or see the tabs or know the tabs. I just have to trust that when the tabs show up, I will have that guidance. I will have that intuitive nudge to be able to deal with it at that time. So I'm curious, How do you feel? Like, what do you think about that?
Oh my God, I feel so seen. Like I tell my clients, like, if you're a projector, like you really want to make your audience feel seen and heard. Like just and everything you said, I was like, yep, guilty. Yep. Yep, that's me. Yep. I felt so seen and so validated. I do have like 50 tabs open, and I will say I have a desktop computer and a laptop, and I have Chrome and Safari on both. And at any time, both Chrome and Safari are open with at least a half dozen tabs. If not, usually there's one that has like you said, like 50 tabs open. A lot of tabs. I don't like closing them because I feel like it loses my place because I'm jumping all over the place all the time. I can't like to stay on one task more than like 20 minutes is really, really hard. And even in that 20 minutes, I'm checking my phone every five. I'm trying to be better, trying to like, okay. And I wouldn't say that I'm ADHD. I don't think I am at all. I just, my attention likes to be everywhere. Wants to know all the things. And I was actually thinking about this. Like, I feel like at the end of the day, if I have done like several different things in several different categories of my life throughout the day, I feel really, really good versus having one thing the whole day. It may have been like an epic day with the family and we did all these great things and it was great, but there's still something that's like, I wish it would have been even better if I could have spent an hour on work too. Um, and it just feels better when I'm multitasking.
And I mean, that makes sense, so much sense energetically, right?
Hmm.
I don't have the energy, or I
Hmm.
choose not to use my precious energy to hold the space. And now, if we talk about a sacral being, instead of a non-sacral being, right? Like, so you are as a sacral being, you're building, you're using the 3D, you work on the 3D.
Hmm.
As a projector, the quantum is my playground. And so I don't need that sensual, of holding something, of like having something. Like I
Yeah.
don't feel that. If we even look at your office compared to mine, I'm a
Yeah.
minimalist. Less is more for me.
Yeah.
If I do one thing really well that day, I feel I've served a purpose. I feel complete.
Oh,
And
I
so
wish I could get there.
it's so different. It's
Yeah.
so different,
Yeah.
of course, it's personality within there, right? Like
Hmm.
lots of
Oh, for sure.
personality, but there's also the underlying current of how
Hmm.
our energy works.
Hmm.
Now, I'm a Capricorn ascendant, so a Capricorn rising. And so as a projector, I was conditioned to work hard,
Hmm.
to be a really hard worker, to work in systems, right? In traditional systems. And so I worked in healthcare for almost 20 years and I was a workhorse and I was really good at it. Like I was really good at it, but I kept burning out, burning out, burning out,
Yeah.
proving my worth because that's how other people saw me. I'm a hard worker. Give it to Tammy, she'll get it done, right?
Mhm.
I'm a get it done kind of girl. And I can do it twice as fast as you, and I can work twice as hard because I was proving my worth
Yeah.
and burning myself out that.
Yeah.
And one thing that really stood out to me was when I found my chart was I have one channel, the 2644,
Mm.
the channel of surrender, but
Mhm.
in its shadow, the channel of productivity. I'm
Huh?
curious, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's such a dominant energy for you. And if you are in that shadow energy of feeling like you have to prove yourself, feeling like this is the only thing I have, if I just do more. And so even when you think about communicating, if I'm doing more in my communication, if I'm showing up every day, if I'm posting every day, then I should like people should notice me, people should see me. But that's the shadow. Like you're not going to get what you want from the shadow. You're going to transcend to that highest expression and come from that and express that. That's when you're magnetic as a projector. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. This has been one of my personally biggest struggles because my conscious sun is gate 41.
Mm.
So I'm the left angle cross of the alpha. And when I first started learning about human design, I learned through it the traditional sense of decrease.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like that. Like I just felt totally called out for that.
Yep.
Instead, and then I went into Karen Curry Parker's world, and I certified as a quantum human design, and she uses imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that projectors can be really good at is that we can, especially a second line, turn a molehill into a mountain, right? Blow things up. And, one of the aspects of Gate 41 is blowing things up, right? Really using that manifestation potential. But if you are busy, and you are spreading yourself thin, you don't have the energy to manifest
Mm-hmm.
or to create, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is something that I'm really, really deconditioning, that less is more.
Less is all. I mean, I feel like simplifying anything is good. Always, always, always. Especially when we talk about communicating. So many projectors just have too many words. I love you all to death, but you have too many words. And simplifying it down to like, what is the heart of it? What do you need to say? And then how can you let the rest of it be more like, if you want more, come talk to me. And like creating that secrecy and that want in the other person so that you're like, I want your help, and giving you the invitation to guide them, right? If you're giving everything on the front end, then it doesn't feel like I have to ask you anything. You've given it all to me, right? Uh,
That is so beautiful. And since we're bringing up business and marketing, one of the things that I've really noticed is how much we're always trying to add value. And so
mm,
we're adding fluff to our stuff because we don't
yep.
think we're good enough.
Yep.
And so, people are buying the, low ticket offers with 500 hours worth of content, when
Mhm,
really a 1 hour sit down, let's get her done, can be so much more efficient and
mhm,
effective. And so really pulling back from having to give all the time, because you're basing your value on the competition and what
mhm.
other people are giving, or what the perceived value is, because there's so much lack mentality happening right now.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I feel like I've had my own journey with that and putting too much in to make it seem better, right? And it always comes back to that simplifying. The less is more. Have spending a little bit more to have someone's one-on-one attention on your business is going to take you so much further than a $40 offer that has none of their time. It's just some PDF or a video that you're watching. Granted, you can get value out of it. I'm not saying that you can't, but to really like hone in on exactly what you're struggling with and what you need to get to that next step, that takes like intention. That takes deep. That takes like you sitting down with somebody and really sharing it all. And maybe that's my like fourth line. Why I want intimacy.
Well, and really, that's the work, right? That's the
Yeah.
groundwork that every soulpreneur needs to, or not needs to, but, can go through in,
Mm,
starting a business. Because they want to help, they want to serve, they want to, to create momentum in their business. And
mhm,
so really coming back to having a higher, a good, healthy, so I don't want the higher, but a good, healthy, grounded sense of self,
yeah.
sense of value.
Yeah.
I recently got a channeling called high value vixen, right?
Mhm,
A woman that knows her worth is attractive as fuck,
yeah.
because that's the truth. The more that you stand in your self worth, the more that you stand in your value, the more that you are going to attract those synchronicities and those coincidences and those responses into your life.
Yeah. Yeah. The more like the authentic you are, the more that you just are yourself and you feel that you're not trying to prove anything. You're not trying to prove lovability or worthiness or anything. You are just you showing up sharing your gifts. Like that's like the ethos of why I do what I do. I want everyone to feel that and to know what it is and to feel like they can express it as like it's just like breathing. It just is.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, and for me, I love to inspire, and I would like to
Mhm.
talk about our profiles if that's okay.
Yeah.
And
Let's
you
do it.
because you mentioned you had a 4. What is your profile, if you don't mind me asking?
4-6.
The 4-6. And so in my feminine archetypal language, the fourth line is the heartist.
Mhm.
She creates from a heart space. And the sixth line is the goddess. And she shows up in her full embodiment. And so I really love that you're talking about your craft from a sense of, this is what I created. This is what feels good to me. And you're fully embodying it. I'm a 6-2, and so the second line in my language is the creative muse. And there is
Mhm.
a sense of mystery in there if you allow it, right? Because the thing with the line 2 is they have a genius that they're not aware of. It's that sense of, well, how does she do it? And the line 2 is like, well, doesn't everybody know this?
Yeah. Exactly. Oh my gosh. I love the 6th line. It's one that was felt mysterious to me for a long time. I like didn't understand it. My transition onto the roof felt really rocky. It felt really like everything was thrown in the air. It didn't help that I had my first child at 30 as well. So that whole transition to motherhood was, I mean, that's a topic in itself, but um it truly is that the more that I go down or I mean on the roof, and I've been on the roof now 10 years, I'm 40. So the more that I show up as myself, the easier things are. And it almost feels too easy where I'm like, no, it has to be harder than that. I got to work harder than that. Like I have plenty of energy. I can work harder than this. But it really is just showing up as, your embodied self and learning those lessons. Um, and then sharing it when I feel ready to and when that sacral pull is. And I have gate 12 as my Mercury. So it has to be ready. Like I can't, it like literally comes out like garbage if I'm not ready, and gets stuck in my throat and I can't talk about it. So I know when things are ready. And that sixth line is just, all right, it's go time. Just be, just come on, be like all shiny and shimmery.
I have the line 12 as well in my Jupiter.
Oh,
And so, and because my earth, my conscious earth is in gate 31. So I have an undefined throat,
hmm
but I have a lot of activations.
hmm
And so it really is for myself anyway, and for anybody who has an undefined throat is being invited, being
yeah,
recognized,
yeah.
and, you know, um, sharing in a sense of purity, because there's a lot of
Mm,
purity in
mm,
the gene, 12 or the gate 12. There's this purity that
mhm,
comes when you allow, when you just trust, when you just let
yeah.
instead of try,
Mhm,
right? And
mm,
so really bringing that. My Mercury is in gate 54. So the gate of, for me, I call it the gate of collaboration. It is the gate of drive, right? Having that. And once again, here's my conditioning with being a soul driven entrepreneur, right? Always having that drive, that
yeah,
ambition.
yeah.
But with the gate 54, it's ambition through collaboration. It's ambition through creating, having a community. And so as a projector, I really value the relationships that I'm in,
Mhm.
to collaborate, to co-create, to help each other out in any way that we can.
Do you talk about that in your messaging? Like being this like linking arms, right? Like we're here to do this together. I love that. That's so cool.
I do. I generally mention it because my paradigm, a lot of it has to do with the conscious economy, right? The quantum
Mhm,
economy, the economy of well-being.
mm,
And I do talk a lot about collaboration over competition. Like that's kind
mhm.
of one of
Yeah,
the signature things that I talk about a lot
yeah,
because there's always enough, right?
yeah.
I'm always sharing the message of enoughness. And if there's enough, I can share, I can
Yeah.
collaborate, I can grow with others. There's no
Mhm.
competition.
Mhm. That's so awesome. Love it. Um, do you feel like you knew when did you figure out what your talent was as your second line? Did it you realize what it was, or did it take someone else pointing it out to you?
I still don't know, to be
I love
quite
that
honest.
too.
Because it's always evolving. My genius always is involved in what it is that I'm nerding out on.
Mm.
So when I nerd out, once again, I hunker down, I get her
Mhm.
done. And I like because what is it? My other Jupiter in my body is gate 52,
Mm.
the mountain, to
Mhm.
really hunker down and wait for that pulse to move. And so really when I hunker down, I can sit for 6 hours and study like a complete astrology course, or like I certified in human design, I think, and quantum alignment in like 2 years, which is pretty unheard of, but because
Yeah.
I have that capacity
Yeah.
to sit and to focus.
Mhm.
And it only lasts for so long until I move on to the next thing. So I find my genius is always in what I'm interested most at that time.
I like that. I hadn't thought about it like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. And honestly makes a lot of sense too. So my husband's a 6'2", and my kids are both 5'2s". So there's a lot of 2 energy. And I think my husband is kind of the same way. It's whatever he's into in this moment, and that's kind of his lane. Kids, I mean, I think they're a little too young yet to really hone in on what that genius is. They're 10 and almost 8, so they're haven't figured it out yet. But um, I love that idea that it doesn't have to be a specific thing; that it can change and shift as you grow and learn as well. Yeah.
It Yeah, and I found an interesting resonance between the both of us. So you mentioned that you're 40 years old and I'm 45, and I wasn't supposed to be able to have babies.
Mhm.
And during my Saturn return, I had my son, which before my son, I lived out of a suitcase and I traveled. Like that was my reason for being.
Mhm.
And when I had my son, which was a surprise to everybody, I hunkered down. And I've been in the same place now for my son's now 17 years. I always say I have 1 year left before
Yeah.
mama, flies the coop.
Yeah.
And so I found it interesting where you said as well that you're a sixth line and you had children, at around the age of 30 as well. So right after
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
Saturn return. And I'm curious, what is your Saturn and what do you feel the lesson was through that?
Ooh, I have never looked into that. Oh, no, now I don't know. Now I need to go look at it. Oh my gosh, that's fascinating. Let me go. I don't remember what that gate is. I'm gonna look it up. Actually, I love that you're saying that you hunkered down because that makes a lot of sense with my husband. He very much wants to hunker down and not go anywhere where I'm like, oh my gosh, like where can we go next? And we moved up to the mountains here almost 2 years ago. But the house that we were in prior to, we were there 16 years, and that was a long time, and it was really a huge challenge and stretch for him to move. Now that we're here, he's great. He's hunkered down again. And my kids are like, "Do you think we'll stay here?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I would move tomorrow." My husband's like, "No way." And it's fascinating how those things like play out in your life and how they really do affect personality. Um, okay. You said Mars?
No, no, you're
No,
Saturn.
Saturn. Oh, Saturn,
You're
sorry,
Saturn.
duh.
Yeah, and it's interesting because so I'm an Aquarius,
Mhm.
and when we look at gene keys, we look at our gods. Mine is the keeper of the wheels, and it's
Uh-huh.
like what is that? But what I've like kind of channeled in, it's really being able to take that step back and see the bigger cycles in life. And this is one of
Mm.
my biggest interests is like because I'm very logical, like I have quite a bit of logic in my design. And so I love to see, and there's a projector, we love systems. So I'm always looking for the pattern. I'm always looking
Mhm.
for the underlying current that is moving through a pattern. So when we're talking about Saturn, that's a cycle. When we're talking about even with the sixth line, right? We go through cycles. We go from, the maiden to the mother to the crone, right? Like there's cycles. And when you can start seeing the underlying message and energy within those cycles, you can choose whether or not you continue that cycle or whether you're a cycle breaker.
Oh, I love that. And mine is 57, which totally makes so much sense. That's like right in that transition is when I was like, I have to trust my intuition. And there were so many lessons in there where I both trusting my motherly intuition as well as like just in general. Um, that totally makes sense. I had never thought about that before. Yeah. Love it. And I feel like, the 5716, so that's my one channel to my throat, and it's also I feel like when I was activated, into speaking more about my life, about, just being more proactive in speaking and being visible, I guess, was about that time as well. So, it makes a lot of sense.
Let's fix that because I want you to show up in the best light that you can. It's the 5720
Oh,
or the 4816. It's okay, but I really want you to
yeah.
show up in the best light.
Yeah, no, you're right. See, and this is the MG. So you are I mix up the numbers all the time. I don't memorize any of the numbers. I will sit down with a chart and I will um sit with that energy and then look it up and make I guess the translation in how to communicate with that energy. But to hold all that information in my undefined head najna, it's not happening. It's going out the window.
Oh, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because that's interesting. I am, 7 centers undefined,
Mm.
but I
Mm.
have the gate 48
Mm.
and it's defined in my south node.
Mhm.
Sorry, it's defined in my north node in my body.
Okay.
And I channel. And I received this channeling because I was like, why am I so nerdy all the time? Why is mastery so important? Like, I understand that's part of my design, but why is it so important to me? And there's this sense that the more information that I embody within my body, that is what I'm leaving as a legacy. Like when I leave the earth, my
Mm.
body is going to, come back into the earth. And when it comes back into the earth, I have that level of mastery that I'm
Mhm.
sharing, not just what I'm doing, in the
Mhm.
3D in the world right now, but
Mhm.
there's an element of whatever it is that you're taking in is going to be passed on to the next generation. It's going to be passed on through
Mm.
ancestral, lineages. It's always going to be passed on. And I
Yeah.
feel this, and it's not a responsibility as much as my drive. It's what
Yeah.
feeds my soul is
Mhm.
mastery. And so when I took in human design, I had to embody it. I had to master it. I had to feel it. And so that I don't have to look at like when I do human design readings now, I don't look at the chart before we meet. I do not look at it. It is literally like in my splenic in the moment. What are the conversations we're having? What are the questions she's asking? And how
Mhm.
is it that I can quickly look at the chart and instantly translate it?
Mm. I'm impressed. Like, I love that. I love that. And I mean, that is your gift. And I think that's makes everyone so special is that we each have a gift that makes other people go, "Ooh," like, that makes me think and make sure it makes me wanna be a better at doing those types of things and not be so fast and furious and come back. That whole skipping steps to have to come back, that's me. Um, and I love that. I love that we each bring something different and unique to the table to help everyone be a better and higher expression of themselves. Not better, but higher expression of themselves. Yeah.
And I actually love that the manifesting generator skips steps. Because when you come back with a different level of mastery. Like when you
Mm,
come back to that step, you have that, you've taken like all these steps and you're at the finish line. And then there's like, you know what? I want more. Like
yeah.
there's more to the story. There's more to it. And you
Yeah.
get to come back with that, embodied sense, that six line almost, where I've seen it. Now I know what are the missing pieces, to get
Mm,
me all the way there. Right. Like, so
mhm,
there's this spiral energy, even with the manifesting generator coming back, right?
mm,
Because you're not coming back with new eyes.
mhm. Yeah, I definitely feel that. It's not, I'm starting over. It's going back and going, okay, wait, there's a couple of things in here that we can do better, that we can adjust or that I forgot about or whatever. So yeah, I totally agree. It's like a spiraling. It's coming back, but with new and different eyes. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. So your head in ajna is undefined too, so I can't use that excuse.
No, here's the thing is like I have an undefined head and ajna and root. So I'm a pressure sandwich like all the
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
And one of the big messages that I always share is really fill up you on yourself first.
Yeah.
Create your day before you go onto social media, before you
Mm,
go anywhere else with anyone else, right?
yeah.
And with the open head and ajna and with the undefined root, because then you are like picking up all this energy because you're not having that strong sense of self, that
Mhm.
strong sense of this is what I want to create for the day. This is what I want to experience of the day.
Mhm.
Generally when people wake up, they wake up and they may feel empty, and so they
Mhm.
go onto social media, they go onto places so they can be inspired. And they're
Mhm.
looking for inspiration outside of themselves without connecting to who they are first.
Yeah.
And this to me, this is where we get so much energetic depletion.
Mhm.
This is where we get really lost within ourselves. This is where we're constantly throwing spaghetti at the wall because we haven't connected to our soul guidance first. We didn't connect to what is it that I want to experience today. It's like
Mhm.
world, show me, right? Like when we're like completely um depleted and have no strong sense of self, we
Mhm.
open up and it's like, inspire me. What am I supposed to do today? What's everyone else doing? Like, what is the best marketing tool? What is what is the next healing modality? Right?
Mhm.
Because we're not connected to ourselves first.
Yeah, I totally feel that, and I 100% agree with you. Every day I start with that centering and me time, meditation, really asking, and that's honestly the best time I write too, is at 6 o'clock in the morning. No one else is up. And it's just me. What do I want to say? What do I feel inspired to talk about? And yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Well, speaking of self-care, because that really is a level of self-care, we're going through a solar eclipse right now. And
Hmm.
actually, the solar eclipse is on the cusp of Aries and Taurus. It's at 29 degrees of Aries in the gate 3 of human design. The Earth on the other side is in the gate 50 of, nurturing, of valuing, of really filling up your cup first so
Hmm.
that you're serving from the cup or the saucer, not the cup, right? You're not serving on fumes. And what's really interesting is this gate 3 that is of innovation.
Hmm.
It's conjunct my actually my Chiron is gate 3. So I'm a little like, "Woo." But when we look at innovation, I come back to, gate 44 or 41 again of decrease. It's like with innovation, it's you take, the system, you take whatever it was, as a manifesting generator or whoever, a projector you take and the system and you see what worked, what didn't. Let's trim the fat. Where are we going to create from next? And really that's what innovation is all about is that change. It's that transformation of how can we move this into that next evolution.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like innovation right now is showing up in my life as I'm shifting gears and kind of pivoting a little bit in my business again. And it's feeling like that I need to have childlike wonder with it. and feeling that it's a little bit messy. It feels a little sticky, a little messy because I am changing. I'm evolving with it. And then once you're on the other side, then it becomes the innovative new thing and it's everything that it was meant to be, right? But in that sticky middle, not getting in my head, not getting in the like, it has to look a certain way or worrying about that stickiness and making that stickiness mean something that it's not. It's just the beginnings of innovation. It's looking at chaos on the floor, like a whole bunch of Legos and realizing, oh, I could make this out of all that chaos on the floor. I don't know.
It's so true. And I mean, we're right now in this huge shift. I don't know where you are. I'm in Canada, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. US. It's everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, US. Like we're going through this huge shift right now, right? We're
Yeah.
seeing, like, I work in the healthcare system.
Mhm.
But I mean, if we take the healthcare system, the school system, the bank system,
Yeah.
they're all crumbling, right? They're
Mhm.
all crumbling. They're not
Yep.
working anymore.
Yep.
And Chiron is my, usually around 50, you go through your Chiron return. And so I'm seeing this um, aspect of Chiron right now with the solar eclipse, a precursor or, a premonition. We're going to bring in gate 57 here because I have that too in my Pluto.
I love
But
it.
gate 57, I already feel like whatever it is that I'm experiencing right now is a precursor or a
Mhm.
premonition of what I'm going to experience when I'm 50. And
Mhm.
so we're going to see this throughout our systems too, where we're taking what worked, what didn't. It's time to let them go. And it's time to not recreate, but what can we take that worked and what can
Mhm.
we bring in now? A new level of what is going to work for us right now.
Yeah, I totally feel that with the systems here, especially the school system in the United States, my kids being school age. I mean, your son is almost out of school now, but yeah, how much it's not working and how do you even take something so massive as a national school system and you can't change it from the inside out, I don't think. I think it has to be dismantled. It has to go to the ground before it can be rebuilt. And that's messy. It's really messy. And
It's
kind of
really messy,
and yet,
there's
yeah.
beauty in there. There's
Yeah.
beauty because we get to accept our own, we're sovereign beings. We
Mhm.
get to we get to accept that responsibility of I am going to do what's best for me and my family and
Mhm.
whatever it is that I decide, I'm going to create a ripple effect that's going to be felt.
Mhm.
And so we're really coming back to this place of individuality where we get the right
Yeah.
to choose,
Yeah.
right? Our kings and queens are not choosing. Our governments, um,
Mhm.
are trying to choose, but we get to
They're trying.
choose
They're trying to
where
hold
we
on.
vote with our dollar, right? We vote with
Yep.
our dollar, we vote with our time, we vote with our
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
And so, in Canada, for instance, I'm seeing so many beautiful homeschooling communities set up, right? Like that's something that we're taking back what it is that our kids learn. My son is in grade 11 uh, in a Catholic school system. Now, not my choice, his choice.
Okay.
He's a double Capricorn. It's either black or white with him, right? Like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no gray. And so for him, he 100 believes in the systems,
Mm.
Christianity, school, banking, finance, like that's where he's heading. And so having an Aquarius mom, and excuse my language and cut it out, but he's like, I don't believe in your spiritual bullshit. Like what? Like I can't believe people pay you so much money for you to tell them that.
Yeah.
And he is a rating across of penetration. And so he is
Mm.
really, really, really intuitive. And
Mhm.
yet he fears it because there's no logical explanation for what it is that he knows. Like, and so he's going to have to go through his own cycle, right? His own
Mm.
journey.
Mm.
But, back to the systems, we start with our own vote. We start with our own energy. We start
Yeah.
with what works with us. Then we
Mhm.
find a few other people and let's collaborate, right? Let's create a community. And
Yeah.
it goes from there, right? So as much as we'd love to dismantle the systems and I want to see that at some point, it's like, what can I do today to push the needle further?
That's like where I'm at. It's not my job to dismantle the system, this like giant thing. Like I am a tiny pea in this big soup. But I can make different choices for my family and for my kids to give them what I think that they need in order to um, be adults in the world that we're living in now. And yeah, I mean, we chose to homeschool this year and best choice ever. Best choice. And they went to well, it was a St. Elizabeth's. It wasn't a Catholic, but it was Episcopalian private school when we lived in Denver. And which was great, had its things too, right? But yeah, homeschooling, I feel like especially in our small community now, there's so many people that are doing it. And I think that's the beauty of what the internet has really done is opened up opportunities where no one thought even to question what was happening, right? They were like, no, this is just the way it is. Like, no, no, there are a plethora of options out there if you so choose to make that decision and align your life with that. And I get that not everyone can homeschool, but the options are there if you so choose. Yeah.
I love that so much. And, bringing back to, the 2020 when we all went online, I live in a small city. And I was raised Christian, like very, very Christian. Um, and I like went through such a huge spiritual healing journey, but I felt so isolated. Before COVID, I felt so isolated because I
Mm.
was scared to come out of the womb closet, right? Now, I mean, I live in my wardrobe now, right? But at the time, I was terrified that I didn't know anybody who in my community who was like
Mhm.
me, who I could have these conversations with. And
Mhm.
it wasn't until 2020, 2021-ish that I started my business, that I, created community, that I found other communities online that I probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have I wouldn't have done that if it
Yeah.
wasn't for this opportunity for us to create, I now have a global community. I work with
Yeah.
people all around the world.
Yeah.
That's not something
Wonderful.
that I would have done if, we didn't have that opportunity. I would have
Mhm.
stayed in my back-breaking job in long-term care and would have been even more bitter and broke.
Yeah. When did you first discover human design? How many years ago?
So I just started erasing 750 posts on Instagram. I
Damn.
created 2,000 posts from 2020 until 2022. So I was looking back and I didn't find human design until the very end, like November 2019.
Okay.
2000, yeah. So 2019, I started, and that's when I first heard about it.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, like I said, I'm a dive in diva. I dove in deep. I took, all the certifications. I went really, really deep. But it was interesting because when I found human design, I had already studied the I Ching. I had
Oh,
already studied the Hindu chakra system. I already had a basic knowledge of astrology. Um, and so when I was able to grasp it very easily,
yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
actually during I was initiating in the Star Keeper's Rite of the Moonai Key. And it was during the Star Keeper's Rites that I connected to human design. And so it was like that next. And so it was just like the stars aligned, everything just came together.
Made
And it was
sense.
like, it was
Yeah.
so it wasn't a learning as much as a remembering for me. And I know
Mm.
that may sound a little woo, and I'm okay with that,
No.
but it really was the sense of I totally get it. Like I
Mhm.
totally it all resonates, it all makes sense.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, I love that. Um, and I think it's not woo at all. I think to feel like it just is. And I think even I can look at human design and feel like this makes sense when I read through the different descriptions and really study the different parts and pieces. Like this makes sense to me. But when I look at separate pieces of it, like just the astrology, don't get it at all. It's like one in one ear and out the other. It's wild. The I Ching, that one I do understand. That one makes sense. Chakras make sense. But pulling them all together into human design, it made astrology make a little bit more sense to me, especially with the planets and what they mean and things like that and how they show up in your life. That makes sense. Um, but yeah, I mean, understanding human design is it's a rabbit hole that's 1,000 miles deep.
And it
But I
never
think
stops.
the cool thing about it though is I think you don't have to go that deep if you don't want to. You can stay at the surface and get everything that you need, right? If following your strategy and authority, if you just understand those and maybe your type in your profile, but understanding those and playing with them and allowing yourself to experiment with it, right? The human design experiment, you will get so much out of it and understand yourself and so much understand yourself better and just be I don't know, a more authentic version of yourself and not so conditioned by the world around you.
And really, it is a, bring it back to the sixth line, it is a true embodiment, right? Like
Mhm.
they say in traditional human design, it takes 7 years
Yeah.
to fully deconditioning. And this comes from the shamanic tradition of we grow a new body every 7 years.
Yep.
However, I feel that we are now at new levels where we are evolving faster and faster.
I
We
agree.
are evolving so much faster that some people pick it up faster than others. Like there's,
Yep.
however it is, however much you need or want or desire, and
Mhm.
how deep you want to go down that rabbit hole is, your individual process. But it truly is when you fully embody it, when you
Mhm.
fully, especially the shadow. I have to say, you
Yeah.
have to really, and so line twos, we like to put our head in the sand a little bit.
Mhm.
We like to avoid. We like to, stay in our genius because the genius feels good. We don't want to go to places that don't feel good.
Mhm.
And so, as the diva diva, really being uncomfortable for the moment and seeing those sides of
Yeah.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's being shown in our relationships or however, but really taking that radical, self acceptance and honesty of yes, this is who I am, and loving that. Like I think that's so
Mhm.
important. And so,
Mhm.
really, it's not all love and light. It's not all like what is the
No.
highest vibration.
No.
We're human. We're here to experience it all. We're here to
Yeah.
love ourselves in all of that.
Yeah. No, totally. And yeah, like understanding I love the way that you talk about conditioning because I mean, you can look at conditioning from a lot of different ways and you can decondition in so many different ways, right? But it's that awareness and bringing awareness to your patterns, to your beliefs, and shining a light on it without shame. That, yep, that's me. Or, yep, that's where I'm at right now, but I still love myself. I can still be who I am. I can still be me, even with this. Yeah, I love that.
And that is like, to me, that is where your power is, because your power is in the places where you meet yourself, the places where you overcome yourself, the places
Mhm,
that you grow from
mhm,
becomes powerful because that's a sense of empowerment. Like
mhm.
this is a part of me that, I am working on. This is a part of me that I can, help others grow from because I
Yeah,
grew from there myself.
yeah,
So, like I'm envisioning like the womb space, for instance, right? Like this is where your creative power comes from, but this is also where the first three, four chakras where all your conditioning is where all your, you grew up in. It's where your pain is. But it's also where your power is.
mhm,
And so really connecting to that full embodiment of that
yeah,
really gives you that sense of this is who I am and I stand proud in that. And I'm
yeah,
okay with that. In fact,
okay,
I'm more than okay with that. I am like so happy with myself, even when I am doing the shit. Like even when I go out and light a cigarette, right? Which is so gross and all that kind of stuff. But that's where my shadows lie sometimes.
mhm,
And so knowing those triggers, knowing
mhm,
those choices and owning it and loving yourself no matter what, because
yeah,
we have so much shame wrapped around
so
our shadow.
much.
So much shame and guilt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go back to the line 50 here, but it is shame, within ourselves
Yeah.
or guilt,
Yeah.
from other people.
Hmm.
And so as a line 2, we have this secret. It's shame, right? Where the
Mm.
higher, the higher, other people like a line 4 may be feeling a lot of guilt.
Yeah. Yeah. And oh my, yeah, there's usually a lot of guilt. It's not so much the shame, it's guilt. And I know the first thing that felt like it feels so much better when I first discovered human design was understanding the MG isn't meant to do the same thing for the rest of their life. Choosing one thing. And I was like, that feels like death. And I'm like, oh, it's okay to feel like that. Oh, thank you. I don't have to commit because that felt constrictive. It felt like I can't be myself if I have to choose one thing. I can't do that. I physically cannot do that. But yet I was raised to like, no, you pick one thing and then you do the ladder, you do the thing, and then 40 years down the road, you can retire. And like, no, please, no.
And I mean, yeah, that's conditioning. And I mean, we can look at the G center, right? Like mine's undefined. And
Hmm.
so I'm a chameleon. I like who in high school, I lived in a prairie town. I was the only girl listening to Erica Badu and watching BET. Everyone else was listening to Backstreet, and I was like no diggity with Blackstreet, right? Like, and it really depended, and it depended on who I was hanging out with, who I was taking in, who I was amplifying, and then really finding what is really mine? Like, who do I want to be? And so, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same with you, where I'm on my third career, right? I
Hmm.
started in the service industry and rose to the top. Then I went into healthcare and I went from nursing home to hospital
Hmm.
mental health. Now I'm in my third career and I really feel like I'm still at that baby stage. Like when I see
Hmm.
myself when I'm 65 years old, a best-selling author, a speaker, a motivational speaker, a retreat owner, like it's like I see the process, but I celebrate myself for being where I am right now.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about that open G? Like, how do you know when you're in your energy, your identity, who you are? Because I have a defined G. Like, I could get into that, right? Like, I totally know who I am when I'm really grounded and not giving about anyone else. Like, this is who I am. I know who I am, right? How do you find that energy that of who you are with an undefined G?
That's a beautiful question. And I'm going to bring it, into the energy here. Here's my thing. When you are depleted, you're going to be seeking energy. When I'm working in
Mm.
mental health, I can feel people sucking energy, like, and not intentionally, but
Yeah.
they're just, you know what I mean? So you can
Yep.
feel that. This is why I say it is so important to manage your energy. It's so
Mhm.
important to have that strong sense of self by creating in the morning and coming back to that as your anchor.
Yeah.
So even though I can be all of the things and I can be all of the things, at the end of the day, I know who I am because I
Mhm.
have developed that through that contemplation, through
Yeah.
that, this is what I like, this is what I don't like.
Mhm.
And I'm 45 years old. At some point, you kind of start realizing this is who I am. And even
Mhm.
if I can, shift with the wind, I come back to who I am.
Mhm. And you accept that and who you are. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. And I totally can feel the difference in the energy of, especially with all your open centers and feeling like people, because I feel that every now and then, but it's not very often. I have a lot of definition. I occasionally, but I can also dominate the room, really. So I can sense how difficult that would be for you to go into a space when you haven't grounded, haven't centered yourself, and then suddenly you're overwhelmed with all the energy of the room. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, and once again, I was gifted. Thank goodness. I do have my will center defined. I have my spleen and my will center defined, which gives me the strength to come back to my ego. Right?
What I want,
I
what
mean,
I want,
you
please.
have your identity. I got
Yeah,
my ego.
which I sometimes get a little jealous of people that have that.
And so I do have that, right? And I have that anchored
Yeah.
into my spleen, my sense of
Mhm.
intuition. Like that is my strongest, part
Yeah.
of who I am. And in order for you to connect to your intuition on any level, you have to know yourself. You have to
Mhm.
be able to be quiet enough to be able to understand those subtle,
Yeah.
nudges. Because as a splenic projector, you only get that nudge once. And you have to trust
Mhm.
that nudge because the next day, everything's going to change. And you're like, did I make that up? Because I don't feel that
Mhm.
energy anymore. And I don't know what's going on.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so to trust yourself on those subtle nudges enough to take action, right? Self
Mhm.
actualization, the spleen center in the highest form,
Mhm.
self actualization, but by trusting yourself and your intuition.
Mhm. Mm. Talk to me about how you learn to trust those tiny little urges, those little, like, especially if it's only once, if it's just spur of the moment, how do you learn to listen to that and trust it and follow through?
For me, it's energy work. I started out with Reiki, I think maybe back in 2014. And so first it was, being able to feel energy. And
Mm.
then I moved into about 2018 Joe Dispenza meditation, and I went deep. And that's when I developed my vision. My 57 really got developed through deep dive meditations. And now I'm coming back into qigong. And
Mhm.
qigong for me it's just been such a game changer because when you can feel those subtle movements within your body. And now I can feel that when I am, when I do, readings, for instance, I feel that their soul about half an hour before I meet them. And I get those like I get the
Yeah.
message, I can feel it in my body, depending on who it is and what it is that they want to share. And so really it is it's a practice. I
Mhm.
meditate almost 2 hours a day. Not just straight meditation, but intentional living, where I am
Mhm.
completely feeling, seeing, sensing,
Mm.
touching everything and being in that zone, but I mean, lucky me, right? I've been single for like 10, 13 years, 14 years. I have tons of space. I have tons of time. That's my genius, I guess. That's my mastery is being able to not be lonely, but
Mhm.
be that monk in the cave. Like I could literally live in a monastery and be
Go to the
100%
ashram.
happy. I really could. I could like live in a cave for 10 days in the dark and
Mm.
be in my bliss because
Mm.
I've just felt that I felt the universe inside.
Mhm.
And to me, that is more fascinating sometimes than what's going on in the 3D.
I can relate to that. I feel like I can't quite go all the way there. And part of it is 3D, my reality of 2 kids that we're homeschooling, married. Like there's a lot going on in our house at any given time. Um, but even if actually I started thinking about this because my daughter's 10. I was like, we're halfway through parenting. What am I gonna do when they're not here and I have all this time, right? Like I'm really good at balancing multiple balls on the plate, right? And having all that extra time now, what am I gonna do with myself? What am I and then I'm like, "Oh, I'll find something to do. I'll find, like" right? That to be able to just sit, well, I can do it for shorter stints here and there, like that MG thing, like shorter stints, I can do it, but to sit for my god, I think I would have to work up to that, I'm not sure. Maybe maybe when I'm 60, I'll go to a yoga retreat.
I worked in long-term care, so nursing homes
Mhm.
for well, from 2004 until 2020. And there was this bitterness, this resentfulness within me, and I because I kept on a soul level, I was thinking, why are they here? Why are they here? Like
Mm.
they're laying in a bed all day long.
Yeah.
What
Wow.
purpose? right? It
Yeah.
really, really bothered me. And I loved them. Like, don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but I was like, what keeps them here?
Mm.
And what we're going to really learn in the next little while is how much purpose you have by doing nothing at all other than holding a vibration and holding an intention. If you think about projectors, projectors are holding the ley lines. We're always healing.
Yeah.
We're always doing work, even when we're
Yeah.
not doing anything.
Yep.
And when we get into those older ages where we're not mattering as much anymore, the impact we could have changed the world.
Mhm. Oh, I just got the chills. That's yeah. That's something that has been coming into my awareness as well, that I'm so at least partially conditioning, partially this MG sacral of my action creates the result and creates and builds, right? But disconnecting that. The more that I can disconnect those two things, yes, I'm always going to be taking action. I'm always going to be like creating something. Um, but disconnecting it from the desire that I want, right? The desire it's there. It's already in me, right? The fun part is the creation and understanding that, like, that's huge. That's really come into my awareness in a deeper way than ever before. Yeah.
I mean that I could talk about that all day because back to the 57, like the what I envision, we're seeing it already. We're seeing it in
Yeah.
AI, we're seeing it in tech, we're seeing it in
Yep.
Web3, we're seeing it matter to matter being. But
Mhm.
we're also seeing on the other end us doing it in the quantum,
Mhm.
us being able to connect, energetically, telepathically, soul to soul
Mm.
on a different level. And it's
Mhm.
interesting how it's playing out, of course, in a duality. You're,
Mhm.
and there's of course like, oh, the love and light, all the Lucifer, you know what I mean? Like there's still
There's
there
duality.
always has to be like that play within us.
Mhm.
But if we can take that step back and see how much good if we bring it all
Mm.
together, right?
Mm.
Whether if you're doing it techie and AI and all that,
Mhm.
or whether you're doing it in meditation and love and light and
Mhm.
community and quantum, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, both are relevant,
Mhm.
both have potential,
Mhm.
and I am so excited to see where we don't have to retire at 65. We can create we don't. Like even I've created how many, ebooks and courses and all that kind of stuff, like productivity still, but those can sell when I die, right? My legacy is gonna live on,
Mm.
in this world, right? And so it's this call that we can still be relevant even as we age. And I love that
Mm.
we're seeing this with women right now embodying their gray. Women, going for their dreams in their 70s. Like I
Yeah.
love that so
I
much.
love that.
That
Yeah.
excites me so much because of the potential that as we live longer lives, as we experience more in our lives, we have so much more potential we haven't even tapped into.
Yeah. Oh, so totally agree that yeah, I feel like I'm just getting started and I've lived 20 years as an adult. Just getting started. There's so much to do and I totally agree. Don't want to retire in the traditional sense of no, I'm going to go on creating something. Will it look like my career hasn't looked normal for 20 years. It's not going to look normal when I'm 60 or 70 either. Still going to be creating, still going to be doing things that excite me and light me up. And that's, I think, what we should all be doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One more question and then we're
Yeah.
probably gonna go. But
Yeah.
tell me about your pivots.
Oh, gosh.
I I'm the queen of pivots. Like I just I love hearing about women pivoting in their business. What is aligned with me today. I would
Yeah.
love to hear about your pivot.
So I've been in the copy space, copywriting for about 4 years now. And I had a vision to create an agency that was more on the spiritual side, really serving spiritual entrepreneurs because it was such a huge part of my life, still is, right? Um, and through different things over the last 3 years, it transitioned like, no, you should go into coaching. And it was for a myriad of different reasons. I should coach more, da 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 da. And so I kind of left the agency thing go. I think also I wasn't ready in my own evolution to be able to take that on. There was a lot of life lessons that I had to go through the last 4 years. A lot of just trusting myself more in order to get here. And now I feel like it's here. I'm like, okay, this is it. This is the third time now that I am like, okay, I'm ready. Let's do it. So it's letting go of quote unquote done with you coaching style and going to done for you copywriting. We're going to create an agency that is centered around human design, both in the copywriting and branding. And then there's the DIY, like do it yourself kind of stuff too, but not leaving the folks at the beginning out. Um, but yeah, it's pivoting into this idea that I've had for 4 years, just was too chicken shit and scared to really go all in on it. And I'm like, nope, okay, I'm ready.
Well, I'm so like that feels so like abundant. Like the word abundant came up because you're not limiting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're expanding, you're adding on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing it will be for that next level client. And so you
Yeah.
said done for you versus done with you, right? So the done
Mm-hmm.
for you is always going to be, for the right person, it's
Hmm.
going to be more money. And so I'm
Yeah.
curious, knowing your design, is there any pivots? Like you said, with your Mercury,
Hmm.
being gate 12 and stuff like that, is that, I'm feeling this like pivot for you where you get to own that gate 12 now.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't owned it. I haven't. And I think that's the open will and open head, open passionate. And I've spent the last year really, really working on those two. And um, because it would always come in and be like, no, no, you are not. No, put that away. No, no, no. Um, and now it's like, no, I can express this. I can be this. And it feels a little scary, right? Because everything new, everything when you're like have that big hairy scary dream. I don't even want to talk about it being big hairy because that puts it big and out there. It's already here. It's just me stepping into it and truly, fully, 100% owning it. And I'm feeling closer and closer every day.
Oh, that like I think you're there now.
Yeah.
I can feel the power of your voice when you own that. And as
Mm,
I always see the gates 12 as the channel,
mhm.
because you're channeling inspiration, and there's this level of safety that needs to happen in order for you to own it and allow, right? That safety of the larynx.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's going to close off, right? And
Yeah.
then your head is going to like get in the way, right?
Yep. Yeah, safety. Oh my gosh. I mean, when I first started doing like copy with spirituality, I had to create a Facebook group that I told no one about and only just like talked about it and people found it because that was my safe place to talk about what I wanted to talk about. It was the only place that I felt like I was safe to talk about what I wanted to talk about. Now I'm like, bring it on.
And what a line for thing to do, right? What a
Yeah.
line for thing to do.
Yeah.
Um, when I'm talking with men, I call a line for Bob the Builder.
Builder. That's
He
awesome.
can fix it, right? Like, but he
Yeah.
has the, he's built this foundation of people that he works with, right? There's a sense of like, I can help because I know who you are, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And so with the heartist, right, they can share from their heart
Yeah.
when they feel safe to do so.
Yeah.
Because there's been times in the past, of course, that, they haven't always felt safe, or
Yep.
they've been rejected or whatever, right? And
Yep.
so coming back to that sense of safety so that they can, and I'm an empowerment coach, right? So so
I
they
love
can
it.
feel that empowerment
Yeah.
to share from that place, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I love that. Like
Yeah.
I can't, I've never seen your chart, but already hearing the 4 and the 12 and this sense of, I'm sure you have
Yeah.
lots of cancer. Like
My
this
son is
sense.
Cancer. Yep. Or,
Okay, right.
yeah,
Okay,
son
there
is
you
in
go.
Cancer.
Right, like, so this sense of, coming out of your shell.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, totally. It feels very much like that. And I'm like, oh, it took till I got to 40. But there's just been so much in the last, I mean, especially the last 3 years that has made all of it make sense. Where before it felt like I was just throwing shit at the wall. and just wondering why nothing works. And it
Do you
was all
feel
eating.
yeah, like, my son's father's a projector as well, and he said to me one day, he's like, "Tammy, it feels like I was born for this time now. It feels
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
all the dreams that I had couldn't be he used manifest, but he's like, I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do because there wasn't the technology for it." Or for me, I'm the same way. Like, I am coming into myself now.
Mhm.
I am so excited to see who I'll be in another 20 years. But
Mhm.
I'm so excited for who I am now,
Mhm.
and where we're going. And we couldn't have done it until we came to this point. Like, and we're really just starting from ground.
Yeah.
But it just feels like we were made for this time. We
Mhm.
came here for this time. We came here to be the
100%.
way, the way showers, the leaders, the
Mm.
the coaches, the moms, like whatever. But we were made for this time now.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think, and maybe that's the whole reason that this dream is now. The time is now, because before I wasn't ready, the world wasn't ready. Like, there were so many other things, and now it's like, no, no, now's the time. Like, it's go. It's go. Yeah.
But it's hurry up and wait because you are
It is a little
a
hurry up
manifesting
and wait.
generator with an emotional solar or with you know what I mean? It's a hurry up and wait.
It's a hurry up and wait. I don't have a defined solar plex, but it
Oh,
is
you
a
don't?
hurry.
Okay.
It is a hurry up and wait, and everything is hurry up and wait. It's always like, why am I not there yet? But I also have to give I just keep going, like, no, like, give yourself a hot second and just bask in what you have created and where you are and where you have come. And I've gotten so much better about that. In everyday life and everything that it's like, just revel in what you have created. It's fucking amazing. And know that all of that is coming. Just chill your roller, right?
Slow your roll.
Slow your roll. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Slow your roll. Yeah. Oh, this was such a great conversation, Tammy. I loved it. God, we went deep.
Well, I am my signature course is called Dive In Diva.
Yo, I mean, we knew we were going there, but love
Yeah,
it.
I'm not,
Love it.
I can't do superficial. It's
I
just,
love
and
it.
that's where I was, for so long was superficial, right? And
Hmm.
it's not who I am.
Yeah. No, I love it. Own it. Love it. Oh,
This
cool.
was it was so nice meeting you. Like I said, I had no idea what I was walking into. I had to like quickly Instagram you, and like you probably saw I just sent you a Facebook because I'm like, who is it? Like like I think you must be a part or a member of my human design portal.
I don't
No?
remember. We're connected on Instagram, but I don't remember how.
Oh, is it Instagram? Yeah. Anyway,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is amazing. And I like looked at your Instagram like, oh my God, she's so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
That feed is so gorgeous. And
Thank
here
you.
I'm just like I'm erasing everything human design related.
I mean, that's a pivot in itself, to burn everything to the ground. I totally, like, oh, that's a hard thing to do, but also, it's the best thing to do.
Because that's who, everybody calls me Tammy Mack. Everybody knows me as Tammy Mack. Even Karen called me Tammy Mack. Like, I'm Tammy Mack. And back in 2015, I was CrossFit Tammy Mack. In 2020, I was human design Tammy Mack. And I'm like, no, like, and now I'm Tammy Mack 3.0. Like, I don't know who I'm going to be when I grow up, but it's like, okay, that was fun for a while, but now I'm on to
Mm.
something different now.
What are you moving on to?
I am, so I'm right now taking a Conan Lee course. It's a Qigong course. It's a spiritual enlightenment
Mm.
course. And so I'm learning Buddha Palm, and I feel like I'm coming back to my healing roots again. And so I still have some big dreams, incorporating human design, but I don't want to be just known as
Yeah.
human design. Like, I mean,
Yep.
I don't want to be put in a box. And so where
Yeah.
I'm going from now is really also connecting to my channel, my guidance, and exploring that further and using that further in my coaching, not just
Yeah.
reading. I don't read charts anymore. It really is a soul session. It really is taking, the astrology, the human design, your soul calling, all the
Right.
things, and
All the things.
whatever comes out comes out.
Yeah.
And so right now it's, oh my God, it is feeling, once again, feeling energy in my body. And you don't need to know to heal. Like I've purged so much in my life in the I've only started for 3 weeks. It's a 4 month intensive, like 6 days a week, 2 hours a day. But the things that have been purging out of me, like, is ridiculous. Like I've cleaned up my
Mm.
computer, something up, I have 30 ebooks I have written.
What?
Because
Damn.
when I learn, I write. I have to instantly learn it in a sense that I can spit it back out. Like that's so
Yep.
important for me, for my
Yeah.
embodiment, for my,
That makes
I
sense.
guess there is a
Yeah.
little bit of a sense still of my ego of like, I need to feel like I am an authority. But really this is how I take in information. I have to
Mhm.
take it all in. I have to, and then I have to write it. I have to write about it. I have to move through it. It has to be my life for a little
Mhm.
while. But and so
Mhm.
right now with the qigong, oh my gosh, I have never felt so much somatic releases
Mm.
just through breathing. And
Yeah.
like, you think this is nothing, right? But all of a sudden your hands are on fire, your arms are like tingling, you're feeling like magnets in your body, and you can't, there's no rational reason. And then the next day you have like a huge purge, and you end up taking something that you were so addicted to, and it's no longer like, so like when I was saying, all of a sudden I'm purging 2,000 posts, my life work in 3 years, because that's not who I am anymore. I can't explain why, but I know that it has to do with the qigong,
Mm.
and it's at a perfect time because I'm going through menopause, and so the qigong, like, it's like internal fire, and so it's hot flashes.
So we're
So I'm getting a double dose of this ascension process that I'm going
Yeah.
through.
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. I feel like I will be there in 10, 15 years. I will be like off in some by myself doing
Well,
all
come to
that.
Thailand. Yeah, let's go to Thailand because that's where I really want to, experience Mantak Chia.
Yeah.
He's the granddaddy master of qigong. He has this resort where you can do the dark room healing, or the dark room, where you're in there for 4 days in the dark.
Fuck.
Creating your own DMT, you're creating your own ayahuasca within your body,
Oh
and
my
you're
god.
having these crazy experiences, but you're not taking, yeah, yeah.
Holy huh, huh. Yeah, give me 10 years. Um, my 3D left needs me here, but
I got
that's
1 year left.
incredible.
This
Incredible.
So one more thing, I know you're probably busy, but this eclipse season
Yeah.
is very similar to 18 years ago. And so by the time it finishes, I will complete my 18 years of not being a mother,
Oh,
but being a hands-on mother. His
yeah.
father's back into the house after 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
And we're doing the transition. So 1 more year, I'm going to be in the house.
Yeah.
But there's always been this knowing that when my son turned 18,
Mhm.
um, mom was going to go. I have no idea where I'm going. It's always been an invitation. Like I've never had to buy a house. I've never had to buy a car. I've never had to
Mm.
apply for a job. Like that's just, I was a projector before I knew it. And so I
Amazing.
trust that I'm going to be going somewhere next,
Mhm.
on my, when I come off the roof, it's going to be magical. And
Yeah,
there's just
well.
this huge surrender, but that's part of
Mhm.
being a sixth line, knowing you have a destiny.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel that, um, for sure, and I feel like yeah, kids are, I mean, a blessing, and I love being a mother, but it is intense. I mean, you're in it. You're in there, you're helping them become adults, and it takes a lot of freaking energy.
It does, and I was I mean, I was a single mom
Yeah.
from when my son was 3 until now. Like, I've been
Yeah.
at so I've always, once again, had to be in control, had to be the authority, had to work full-time job, raise a son by myself, run
Yeah.
long distant
Yeah.
races, like I'm a Spartan racer,
It's
like
awesome.
all of the things to prove
Yeah.
my worth. Like, I am an
Mhm.
independent woman. Hear me roar. Right. Like,
Yeah.
and coming, full circle, like, support me. I'm a creative muse. Let me amuse you.
Mhm. I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay. I feel like we could probably talk for another hour. So
Right.
we're gonna cut ourselves off. But this has been so, so fantastic. Thank you, Tammy. Yeah, I love this. We should do it again.